That's right, folks. It's another late night and time for another reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag. And tonight we're pulling out waiter flirting.
That
Yeah!
yeah, woo! That's right, folks. It's another Tuesday night. How y'all doing here? It's season 3, episode 3 of the Just Giggle It grab bag. Now, season 3 is, of course, the fan request season. So if you ever want us to tackle anything from Just Giggle It, we've already tackled Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world. We've already tackled a number of their sketches. We've already tackled Watching You. But any of their backlog of sketches that we haven't tackled yet, please, we implore you, send out a recommendation and you will be on this channel and you'll be featured. You'll be called out. You'll be graced with your presence as we thank you for establishing our order. Dragon, I think I might have oversold that a little bit, but before we get into Just Giggle It and the Harley Quinn and the Joker of it all, I think the good place to start out with is, my God, Dragon, this person is live for almost every one of our shows, and I just want to shout them out. Demona B.
Yeah, let's hear it for Demona B. Yeah!
And Demona B, we would not have this episode without Demona B because Joshua Thomas, Dragon, who recommended this one first, Joshua or Demona?
Well, Joshua Thomas did first, but Demona is the reason we're covering it, now, because again, with like such a swelling demand for waiter flirting, how could we say no? And also, a little shout out, just a little shout out on top of shout out here for Demona B, because she had recommended this to me during some of the live shows, and I finally had been able to check it out, and I just want to recommend to everybody here, Demona B has an Instagram, and this Instagram, it's really neat, and the thing that really stuck out to me about it was she has these really great in-jokes and referential photos to Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the real world, which is such kind of a, like, she did this thing, the thing I keep jumping to is there's this, she recreated the bloody sunglasses that was one of the big sell points. Like, honestly, like, of course, one of the huge sell points of the whole series of Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the real world, she recreated. Again, like, Harley Quinn holding those bloody, sunglasses with the blood on the end of them. Again, it's kind of like, that's celebrating what kind of the appeal of the show in a way, just kind of that unsure look by Addison, like, how does she feel about that? Again, there's your hook for, oh my God, I gotta see more of the show. It's more than just the fan film type stuff, it's more than just kind of a statement on
Dragon. I feel like Just Giggle It really is, it's like the blue meth of YouTube sketch comedy. It really is. It's like, it's the best of the best. It's like, it's Oscar worthy because because it's got such a talented team behind it. And I feel like the thing that Just Giggle It does above any others is that they have a consistent thorough line to their comedy. They have a consistent tone, but my God, do they have so much variety in their subject matter. And that's the thing, Dragon. I think that's the thing to nail down about what makes Just Giggle It as a series, as a sketch comedy series, so great is the fact that it's so consistent with what it's trying to do, but it keeps that consistency through just wildly different subject matter. Am I making sense?
Yes, I mean, according they cover so many diverse things. We have all sorts of different forms of comedy. Of course, we have kind of that kind of JGI philosophy of, you kind of do a Spinal Tap approach to comedy, where you kind of you tear the dial off at 11, and it can either go in the absurd or a darker direction, and it's astounding. And of course, while we have all that, we also have Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the real world. And of course, folks, if you like like Demona B, like ourselves, if you're a fan,
this show is just, it's growing more and more of a groundswell, Dragon. I can feel it in my bones. The age of Harley and the Joker versus the real world is upon us.
It is, and folks, it's a travesty that we don't have more episodes now, but you're in luck. You can make this happen, folks. Take control, fans of Just Giggle It. You can make this happen. You can get us more episodes of Harley Quinn the Joker. If you're like, I want more episodes of Harley Quinn the Joker. Where are the other episodes? Don't badger Joshua Thomas about it. I'm going to tell you the answer to all your problems right now. All you got to do is watch the episode, share the
around in the dirt with me, and all your dreams will come true.
Yes. Sorry, folks. Some Better Call Saul love. Of course, Better Call Saul season 4 is upon us, so you might be hearing some random Better Call Saul references here and there from us.
And go blue.
Okay. Anyway, seriously, getting
all
on
right.
point. Seriously, folks. The key to it all is very simple. We got to get those views up to 1 million. I know it'll take some time, folks, but we can if we get enough people watching this show, and you watch that episode, watch episode 5, debatably the best episode so far. You watch that, we're gonna get more episodes they have in the pipeline that are already built in that I highly recommend. That I really want to see. I mean, just teasing a few pages. Just Thomas on the community page of Just Giggle, he has teased us with a few pages of like episodes 6 and 7, and I've seen some stuff from down the line. And, oh my God, trust me, folks, you want to see this show made. If you love the characters of Joker and Harley Quinn, you're going to want to see this show made. And I have a sense that you do because you're a smart, discerning audience member. And you have good taste. You're watching us. Now, either you're just really curious or you have good taste. And while you have that good taste for Just Giggled sketches such as Waiter Flirting, by all means, pause this, watch that, come back to this, watch that again, and then watch it a few more times and send it to your loved ones, your relatives, even some enemies you haven't spoken to in a while.
So
do it.
Spam social media with it.
Why not?
All right.
There. Okay, that's
so
it.
While there's a mess of animal noises going on, really quickly, my thesis statement for Waiter Flirting is this is kind of the simplest Just Giggle It sketch I think we've covered since, ironically enough, our very first Just Giggle It grab bag, which was Pretty Flowers. And
Yep.
Dragon, I feel like this isn't as refined as Pretty Flowers. It's not as perfect as Pretty Flowers. But I feel like this one has a punchline that's almost even better than the punchline in Pretty Flowers. I feel like this is I feel like we're gonna go back to our roots on the grab bag here of kind of being like really a podcast about dissecting comedy, because while this is a really simple episode, there's a lot to break down in terms of structure and in terms of how they subvert expectations. And Dragon, I just gotta say that this episode, watching it, like, I was a little bit middle of the road on it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, throughout the episode, as I was, of course, it's only 3.5 minutes, so I was watching it and taking notes at the same time. And I was kind of like, this is fine, it's funny, but by no means is it a Pretty Flowers or a Disney Princess therapy session or anything like that. And Dragon, then we got to the punchline. And I don't know, man. There's something about that punchline and the way it's delivered. I was at work in the break room and I just lost it. I was probably cracking up for a good 2 minutes after I saw that punchline for the first time. Oh my God, it tickles me, Dragon. It tickles me. So I can see why people want us to cover it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I tell you, Tiki, I think you're right in that it does kind of bring us back to our roots with the grab bag, where you were really breaking down kind of the folks. We're not just like saying this happens, then this happens. We're really trying to break down like what makes this funny and just kind of like analyzing kind of how Just Giggle kind of created and earned their salt of comedy genius in a way. That's kind of what we're doing here on the grab bag. In this episode, this sketch when I was watching, I really did kind of see the kind of the rope-a-dope, kind of the Sherlock Holmesian, like kind of breaking down the fight and just kind of like analyzing all the different ways the comedy could come here and just seeing basically getting the logic of like, where this is coming from, what it's kind of akin to, and just kind of where basically the logic that's kind of fed into this. And I feel it's 3 minutes, but it's kind of a brilliant 3 minutes how we kind of achieve everything here. So I mean, structurally, I absolutely agree with you. It's no Pretty Flowers, because Pretty Flowers like vaudevillian at its best. This has a lot going for it. I did notice something pretty big in this episode that we'll get to when we get to it. But a few little notes of background here. Of course, Waiter Flirting was the 44th sketch, the 44th video on Just Giggle It.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dragon, but is there anyone here that we've even seen before?
Well, yes, Julian Silver and Jamie Cox. We have 2 people that we've seen before.
Okay.
And of course, we always want to be careful when you say that, T, because we really embarrassed ourselves last time when we didn't notice.
Well, that's why I'm genuinely asking the first time, Dragon. That's why I'm genuinely asking you up front, who's done your homework, unlike me. See, I'm calling myself out and leaving you out of this.
I'm just afraid when you put a spotlight on us, I'm afraid that we actually have seen this one of our actresses here before, and I was completely
Dragon,
blank on.
look, when I ask that, it's like it's basically kind of like one of those things where I feel like the ensemble cast of Just Giggle, you know, not the Poncios, not the Joshua Thomases, not the Piper Hensons, but like the ensemble, kind of like the heartbeat of Just Giggle. Dragon, I feel like these people are so talented and so understated that they almost just kind of like blend into their role so well. It's like, nah, we don't need to have the the braggadocio that Poncio has. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like, I feel like they really fit it. Like they're almost like chameleons of comedy in a way, the way, and I'm saying that in a good light, I'm saying that in a good way because they're almost kind of like the kind of like the supporting players on SNL, where it's like, they're not the Dana Carveys or the Will Ferrells of the world, but in some ways they might be even funnier than the Will Ferrells. You know what I mean?
Mm. I can kind of see that. Basically, kind of your lifeblood of Saturday Night Live, not your
That's what I'm
mainstay.
saying. Yeah.
But, I mean, Julian Silver. I've always said nice things about Julian Silver. I mean, honestly, I really would love, again, folks, more motivation for Harley Quinn and the Joker episode 5. You got to remember, folks, a lot of these Just Giggled sketches are time capsule pieces, and you have to really keep up with it. Like the most recent ones put up, and sometimes the most recent ones uploaded are archival pieces. So it's kind of hard to discern sometimes. If
Dragon,
those.
This is going to sound like a weird question, but can you hear the bird noises?
Well, I'm listening for them, but I don't really. They don't jump out at me. I don't really hear them.
Okay. Just let me know if you hear bird noises. All right.
Kind of like a Where's Waldo audio wise here, but okay.
Okay.
What was I?
I know that was super cryptic of me.
Yeah, it was just kind of threw me off my thought entirely.
I'm like, Dragon Pigeon Man is right outside my window.
Anyway, what was I? Okay. Anyway, yes, Julian Silver. So the point is, even with the most recent Just Giggle uploads, sometimes they're archival pieces, and it's hard to tell because we learned this with Brian Wiley, the wonderful director, editor, and sometime writer on Just Giggle. They've done things like the Just Giggle It Zone, Twilight Zone parody, and have done things like that. And Krampus. He's no longer. We learned from him. He moved on to other pastures, like also like things like actresses like Brianna Oppenheimer. We have people who've moved on to do other things. So I would love to see Julian Silver appear in Harley Quinn and the Joker. I would love to see that because I really like this guy. And of course, we kind of wrote him a little. Little introduction in the Christmas pitch that we did, where we killed him off.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh god.
I'd love to see him appear. It's always kind of fun when Julian Silver pops up because, of course, Serial Mom, and of course we have Serial Mom and Serial Son in this.
Yep. Oh god.
Jamie Cox, she's our friend here. So, she's the friend in the sketch. So, this of course was written, directed, and edited by our trifecta hat wearing guy, Joshua Thomas.
Yeah.
1 hat's not good enough. 3 is the minimum. And basically, it's kind of looking at basically the cell line of this is flirting with your server. So.
Pretty much.
Okay, so we start with a bar and grill restaurant. At a bar and grill restaurant, we have two.
How generic that is.
Yes, we see 2 friends, Lynn and Karen. They are they're having dinner together, or maybe a late lunch, but probably dinner. We have
girls' night specifically.
Right. Oh yes, it is. It must be dinner. Okay. Yeah. So we have Emma Leonard. Emma Leonard. That's the one I'm not sure of. I'm not sure if we've seen Emma Leonard before. I don't. At least in our experience on the grab bag, and I can be completely sidelined right now and say, "You dopes, you've seen her before."
Yeah. This could potentially be one of those things. Yes.
What I'm saying, because I can't recall Emma Leonard off the top of my head, but she might have been like maybe at Ryan Gosling's funeral. I don't know. So we have.
That sounds like a good pool.
I don't believe she was. I'm just giving an example of like where she could have blended.
If you're giving a random example, I would legitimately buy that she was in that one. All right. Anyways.
Anyway, also Demona B agrees. No bird noises so far. So.
Okay. Thanks. It's just I have parrots right outside my window, like literal, like talking exotic parrots.
Gotcha.
So, all right.
Do they have anything to contribute to the conversation?
I'm trying, man. Come on, give me a break.
No, I meant the parrots. Do the parrots?
Oh, do the parrots? No, don't be a smartass. If they did, the podcast would be annoying. It'd just be a string of hellos.
Okay. So,
Hello
anyways,
and uh-oh. That's my parrot's vocabulary, Dragon. Hello and uh-oh.
gotcha. Okay, so parrots aside, we have Emma Leonard and we have again Jamie Cox. Those kind of our two kind of friends during the girls' night here, and again they're like, oh my god, they're laughing over, oh boy, girls' night so delightful, isn't it? Oh, it's been such a long time since we've done this, and it's about darn time we have since Lynn's been busy since she's gotten married.
And we get a name drop, Dragon.
Yes, yes. I think there's a Freudian thing going on
I
with
know. I
Josh
think
Knows.
so too.
Two names keep popping up, and it's like you look
I'd
into one
like
of
to
the.
think that in the backstory here, the reason why she's so desperate to cheat on this guy is simply because his name is Frank, and in the Just Giggle It universe, Franks are evil.
God. Of course, I guess Frank Jr. It could probably
I
go.
mean, look, from the sounds of it, this guy sounds like a nice enough guy, but we don't know the domestic situation at home.
That's true. We could always say Frank. He had a past before Addison. He has a son. That son
Oh
could grow
God.
up to be like. That's how we.
We're
Corey.
making our own damn
Corey.
headcanon out of this, man. We better be careful. We're creating a rabbit hole here.
Corey Olnick, he's always wanted to come back, and he's been pitching ways to come back. I'm just saying, if we ever need like kind of like a Steve Trevor thing from like the Wonder Woman '70s TV show, it's like the son looks exactly like the father.
All right.
Anyway, what was I getting? Oh yes, okay. So it's been hard to get her out since she's been married to Frank, and the Freudian thing with Joshua Thomas is we have but we've had Franks and we've had Crystals. So again, it's like if you look at if you look at Harley Quinn Joker as kind of the opus of Joshua Thomas, we keep seeing what built up to that with these other projects that he's done. All right, let's see. So things are going really good with Frank now. He's got a new job. They got a bigger place. Everything's newlywed life's treating Lynn really well. And of course, this is our exposition and setup to the grand to land the joke coming up here.
Attention to comedy structure out there in the room tonight.
Certainly. So again, we've set up everything. We set up two friends. It's girls' night. They're dining at a restaurant, and one of them is married with a seemingly a good marriage. And seemingly because we don't know. We're no marriage therapists. At least the last time I checked, I wasn't.
Dragon, also credit where credit's due. The set design, like, it's not amazing, but it's definitely more convincing than the Ash Ketchum date.
True.
Like that might be because of the fact that it's nighttime instead of daytime.
Well, honestly, I think it's the fact that they kept the set stationary. I don't know. I think they have like a better angle. It's like we have the back window, and then we have like the.
Yeah, I think the back window is what sells it. Like the back window with the curtains.
Yeah, it's like this one stationary set, and it's not like looking at it from the side, and we don't cut back to, Sipka just kind of walking around monologuing. We're like, okay, there's a front door there. That's not a restaurant. That's a front door. This is a lie.
Yep.
It's a pokey lie.
All right.
Anyway, let's see. Getting back on point here. Okay, so again, we've set it. We got our bearings here. We've set up kind of the status quo. Enter our waiter. Sorry, SpongeBob reference, folks. So our waiter enters.
So the waiter comes up, kind of. First of all, did you notice the subtle physical thing he does? He kind of puts his hand on the girl's shoulder and rubs it a little bit as he comes up.
I didn't notice. That's a good catch.
Kind of a little nice physical flirting there, right off the start. Says no rush. Take all the time in the world. Oh, and by the way, you two look amazing.
Well, again, he's mainly focusing.
Right. Yeah.
He's focusing on Lynn, so he's focusing on, oh, you look amazing tonight. Thank you. You're not bad yourself. You're good. You're good yourself, sir. And, it's like, she's paying him a lot of compliments. So take a few minutes, give me a call when you're ready, or just give me a call. Saunters off, essentially. Just, Julian Silver. That silver tongue devil.
All right.
So,
silver tongue devil.
Get it?
Yes. Oh, God.
So
you did there. All right.
Let's see. So I love this. As that conversation's going about here, I do love. You can see again, Jamie Cox. I feel is the MVP of this. Of this.
I think so
sketch.
too. Yeah, especially with the punchline at the end.
But I love her the physical comedy. The facial comedy. Her reactions are what sells this whole thing for me. I love seeing Karen's like her whoa, like she says whoa, and you see her surprised at how forward this conversation is. And as Lynn is pondering, kind of, I wonder if I should get the crab cakes. Karen's questioning, like, did you not notice he was flirting with you? You're both flirting with each other. Like, do you do that in front of Frank? And of course, again, the
Well,
whole
that's
Frank.
not flirting. It's waiter flirting. That doesn't count.
God.
Yes, it does. And
So,
here we go, Dragon. Here's the big setup for the punchline that I love. He's
well,
just trying. What?
I was gonna. Okay, you go first. Go
Yeah,
on.
he's just trying to get his 20%. Oh God.
So what I love about this, Tiki, I love just I love the premise of this thing. I love just how we kind of set it up here, where this is a great, it's such a great observational premise of comedy. It's
Sure.
such a great comedy observational example of a sketch here, where people do
It's one of
flirt.
those things where it's like it's not quite a parody, but it's something that everyone can relate to, kind of on a universal level.
Yes, I mean, again, I've seen it myself up front. I've seen people, there's a sort of freedom when you go into a restaurant, because again, it's like there's a certain amount of like kind of customer satisfaction where the customer is always right, and looking at it that way, you always have to be cordial to the customer, and a lot of times that can either get misread or it's kind of a playful environment. Ideally, a playful environment, not getting to the creepy side of things, but yeah, ideally, it's a playful environment.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I've seen like there's always like a familiarity, and like especially if you get like a regular waitress or something, like like for example, Better Call Saul, we have Mike and Fran, Mike Ehrmantraut and Fran, the waitress at Lola's Loyola's
All right,
Cafe.
look, let's not get too deep in Better Call Saul mythology here.
But you see what I'm saying, though, right? There's like a
No, I
familiarity,
see
and
what
there's a
you're saying. I'm
built-in.
just saying we've got limited time.
Okay, but anyway, so that's all I'm saying. I love the kind of the observational premise of the whole thing. I thought that was really great.
Uh-huh.
Really aspired choice there. Smart choice. Kind of almost satirical in a way. It's like, yeah, we do this, but what if we kind of, again, the Just Giggle formula, Tiki, what if we take that observation and we crank it up to 11 as the sketch progresses?
Exactly.
So we've taken the what if, like, what if you did flirt, and you basically, what if the flirting was just like not something you brushed off, what if you actually acted on it in a big way? So the absurdity gets dialed up to 11 after earning the 20%. Like you never, like, oh, I never flirt with a normal guy. I love Frank. And again, we set up that, okay, she does, she does love Frank there, okay, but and of course it's something she's completely ignorant of, which again makes it not like a dirty thing, makes it not like it makes, with the innocence is also driving the comedy here, that again she just is not aware of this. It's just completely, it's just a complete innocent in all this somehow, completely oblivious to the comedy that's about to befall us here. So Karen saying okay, and she goes to the restroom, and of course after she gets back from the restroom, Tiki, what does she see?
She sees just a giant makeout session going on.
Karen shocked interruption of like, what are you doing? And of course our waiter excuses himself here.
He's off very politely.
We're making out with him? That is not okay.
And then I love this, Dragon. Again, this is kind of more set up for the payoff. She's just like, oh well, he's just pushing that stakes. He wants the bill to be high. It's fine.
God, and of course,
Dragon, I'm so excited to get to the punchline.
Well, so our waiter comes back and he brings brings Lynn's underwear.
Oh God.
Apparently and here's the thing, here's the line cracks me up, but if I read this right, it's like, yeah, you left him in my closet again, implying that they've been doing like a cloak and dagger thing in the closet, which is, that's funny. So, again, she's completely oblivious. There's, oh, thank you. I thought I lost him in the wash. Don't you hate when that happens? Of course, just Amy Cox's reaction is, again, just like the reaction to all of this is driving the laugh. It just, her reactions are perfect and so on point in all this. So she's asking if, do the crab cakes come with marinara sauce? And of course, just Jamie Urzeli, she's thinking, okay, we need a minute, sir. Okie dokie. And then, of course, we built to this hilarious joke here of, like, don't you... I'm sorry, this is really fun. Basically, as Lynn's trying to justify herself, saying, "Are you cheating on Frank?" You're committing adultery. Oh, he just wants that big tip. Don't you dare say the words waiter adultery. That to me cracks me up. Like the waiter adultery. That to me might be the line of the episode for me.
Uh-huh.
Don't you dare say the words waiter adultery. So I did notice something, Teak, and this is big. This is what I want to hit on. So then we do. So after that line, after that big laugh, don't you dare say waiter adultery. We 2 years passed before our eyes. 2 years later. And I got to tell you,
Very
now
high concept for a 3-minute sketch, right?
it is high concept, but again, I want to make sure I want to make it clear. This is not a negative, all right? I get why they made this, but I just want to make it clear that I kind of see what they're doing here. That they do kind of a less egregious fanforstic time jump here.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, we go 2 years later, and we have a different girl that Lynn is with, having girls' night with. And I think that's really interesting because much as I enjoy Nicole Stone, who we're about to meet, of course, Nicole Stone, someone from we've met before from a One Night Stand, and she was delightful.
Yeah, sure.
Can't get enough of Nicole Stone; she's great. I feel we're missing a payoff with Karen. I felt that way. I felt they were missing a payoff with Karen, but at the same time, I then realized what had happened, Tiki. Here's what I realized happened. I could be completely off base here, but this is why, you tell me if this makes any sense to you. I read this as Just Giggle, Joshua Thomas specifically. Josh Thomas fell into a trap in his own writing here. He fell into a trap where he wrote himself into the trap of Lynn cannot justify herself past the whole, waiter adultery. Without killing the joke, you can't justify that because then you'd lose the comedic momentum if you continued on with Karen. If she basically, it would have just been repetitive. It either would have been repetitive or it would have just been more of like, how can you step up from adultery without just doing the next joke? You do it with Karen, but then you want to get Nicole Stone in there, and to do that, you have to kind of jump past Karen, and that's what I'm saying is that there's a point where if you either have to end it right there, which means you'd sacrifice your greater punchline. You just can't have a baby pop up in the very next scene without it being okay. Now we've passed on of feasibility, because that's where the 2 years later come in. Like a baby has been born at that time, so I feel they kind of. I kind of see that they wrote themselves to a corner. Therefore, we had to jump 2 years in the future. Hmm. Does that make any sense to you?
Okay, like it makes sense what you're saying, but to me, I don't necessarily even think the sketch is about the characters as much as it is about the payoff. And so I think the fact that we jump 2 years later, I think it's really the 2 years later is kind of the long game for this waiter. That's the way I read it. The way I read it is that this waiter, man, he's after something, and we'll talk about that something momentarily. And
sure.
My God, he'll take 2 years to get it. That's the way I read it, dragging it to me. I thought that was hilarious.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying all that remains true, Tiki. What I'm saying is we jumped 2 years because we couldn't make the punchline happen any other way. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay, so we have Lynn now 2 years later with another girls' night out with her friend Jenna played by Nicole Stone, and Lynn has a baby, Frank Jr.
God.
We hide the baby for obvious reasons, because of course you have to get a baby, and obviously it's far cheaper not to have a baby.
All right, and then the waiter comes up, and the waiter is the father.
Well, yeah, he comes up there and he's greeting the baby and everything. Like, how's the little guy? And he says, he's fussy. He hasn't had a nap. Like father, like son. I've been cranky all day. And of course, Jenna's questioning this, hence the reveal.
He needs a 5-hour energy.
And of course, we have the whole oh yeah, he's Frank Jr.'s father. And of course, I love just seeing Nicole Stone put 2 and 2 together here. Like, wait, what? So, you had a baby outside of wedlock?
Punchline, Dragon. Let me
All right, go on.
And then we cut to the waiter, and the waiter with the biggest shitting grin on his face.
Well, wait, hold it. We didn't set up right. We have to. Let me build you up to the punchline.
Yeah,
right?
Build me up to the punchline.
Right, because you're just jumping to the punchline. I gotta set you.
That's literally what I just asked. I literally just asked you to build me up to the punchline.
All right.
You blew my load, man.
All right.
All right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
So, you want a baby outside of wedlock? Calm down, okay? It's a waiter baby outside of wedlock. Let's cut to the waiter, and
I do it for the big tips. Or no, he says, I like getting that big tip.
there you go.
And oh my god, Dragon, just I love all the implications of that. Like I said, to me, it's like the waiter's 2-year endeavor. Like he will go to the ends of the earth to get that big tip. And that to me was the comedy of it. That to me is what made me absolutely fucking crack up.
It is quite elaborate, and again, it definitely delivers on the. It doesn't forget the whole. It doesn't forget like the 20%. He's just doing this to add on to a tip, and then of course we go to the absolute extreme, and it's the long con of a comedy payoff, and it's delightful.
Uh,
It works wonders, absolutely.
all right. And I guess that's about it, Dragon.
All right. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Yeah, like I mean, I don't think this is on the high ground of like I don't think it's on like the highest tier of stuff that we covered on the grab bag. But like I said, I definitely think the thing that really saves it and the thing that really kind of elevates it, much like a lot of Just Giggle It content, is that punchline, is that payoff, is the fact that this at the end of the day is kind of a joke, like a very simple setup and payoff joke, but done and really subverted and twisted around. And it really does show the talent involved with Just Giggle It.
Yeah. For me, it's another short and sweet sketch. Again, it has that great back and forth comedy with Jamie, with Jamie Cox and Emma Leonard there. They got a real good back and forth. Again, Jamie Cox's facial comedy is hysterical. It's just again we're kind of in the niche of Just Giggle It, where again we're cranking the absurdity up to the nth degree. It knows what it's doing, and it's like it kind of has it down to a factory produced science, and I mean that in a good way. And again, it's like it's an observation, folks. I'm not trying to pick hairs or anything. And again, the whole is good and simple. I would agree, not as dazzling as some of the other stuff that we talked about in the grab bag, but again, it's solid. It's absolutely solid. Like a part of me wishes like we could have worked Jamie Cox into the ending there, but again, I wouldn't dare want to lose Nicole Stone and kind of that payoff. So I wouldn't want to tamper with that. But it just kind of noticeable. We do that 2 years later. It's something that kind of sticks out and makes you think. But again, it makes you think about how clever they were. And like, yeah, they made the move, and that's the only move they could make. But they did it for a really good reason. It paid off. So it's again, there's some great logistical comedy that builds to kind of this great point of observational humor. So it's a really solid premise. It's a fluid execution. It's pretty solid.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
so
Go ahead.
all right, so folks, of course, next time I recommend, of course, anyone interested, by all means, put some some recommendations in the comments or the Just Giggle community page or something, and your recommendation may be next on the grab bag for this season. All fan requests. You list any sketch that you want us to talk about and recap next, we will do it. We will credit you. We'll build imaginary monuments. We'll sing your praises. We'll thank you profusely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll thank you all live long day like we're thinking. Damona B, thank you so much for recommending this one. And again, don't be shy. Recommend more. You guys control how long this season is. We have a number of them kind of saved up already. When we reach the end of that number, then we're just going to get back to business as usual. Never know how that's going to go, but we'll see what's happening. We definitely have like one of our recommendations we know we're going to end on, but we're definitely going to build to that. And of course, we'll keep it a surprise what we're talking about next time. But that does it for now. Until the next reach into the Just Giggle grab bag.
I like getting that big tip.